All right, today we're going to do something really cool. We're going to build a modern data business completely from scratch. I'm going to walk you through exactly how you can use AI to find, package, and then sell what I think is one of the most valuable assets in today's economy, and that's high-quality business leads. So let's just dive right in.
So let me just kick things off with a question for you. When you think about the most valuable things in our economy right now, what pops into your head? Is it software? Is it real estate? Maybe a huge, powerful brand?
Well, here's the thing. For a massive number of businesses, I'm talking everything from tiny startups all the way up to huge enterprises, the most valuable asset they can get their hands on is actually something a little more specific.
Yep, that's it. It's high-intent, niche B2B data. And look, we're not just talking about any old data list. We're talking about hyper-specific, super-targeted business info. This is the stuff that helps companies stop spinning their wheels and start talking directly to the people who are most likely to buy from them. And today, we're going to build the machine that creates it.
Okay, so here's our game plan, our blueprint. First, we'll cover the gold rush for data. Then, we'll get into finding your niche. After that, we're building the AI engine, which is the fun part. Then, packaging and selling. And finally, how to automate, scale, and comply to put the whole thing on autopilot.
All right, let's jump into section 1, the gold rush for data. And really, what we're talking about here is why these super specific, targeted leads are basically digital gold, and why they're so much better than those generic, spammy lists that, let's be honest, everybody hates.
Just look at how specific these examples are. We're not talking about a list of all dentists in the country. No way. We're talking about dentists in Miami who offer Invisalign, or HVAC companies in Texas with more than 10 employees. See the difference? This is the level of detail that companies will pay a serious premium for, because you're literally saving their sales teams hundreds of hours of boring manual research.
So, the key takeaway here is this. You're not just selling a list of names. You're selling a solution. You're selling speed, you're selling efficiency, and you're selling a direct path to more money for your customers. That's what makes this so valuable. Okay, that brings us to section 2, finding your niche. And honestly, this is the absolute foundation of your entire business. Get this wrong, and it's like building a house on sand. It just won't work.
So what makes a great niche? Well, here's what you're looking for. You want industries where landing just one new customer is worth a lot of money. You also want businesses that rely on sales teams to go out and find new clients. And super important, they need to actually have a marketing budget to spend on tools that will help them sell more. Check those boxes, and you're in a good spot.
And the best part? You don't have to guess. You can actually use AI as your brainstorming partner. A simple prompt, just like this one, can spit out dozens of ideas in seconds, uncovering these hidden gem markets you probably would have never even thought of on your own.
All right, let's get to the really fun stuff. Section 3, building the AI engine. Think of this as our own automated data factory. Now, I know that might sound super complex, but trust me, with modern AI tools, this whole process is way more accessible than you think.
So the first part, collecting the data, is basically a simple 3-step process. First, we define exactly what we're looking for. Then, we extract all that public info using an automated tool. And finally, we store everything in a nice, clean, organized format, like a spreadsheet or a database.
And here is where the magic really happens. You do not need to be a coding wizard to do this. You can literally just ask an AI to write the script for you. This prompt here is telling it to use a tool called Playwright, which is just a way to automate a web browser to go and scrape business listings from Google Maps. I mean, this is something that used to require a specialized developer. Now you can do it with a single sentence.
But listen, the raw data we just collected, that's just the starting point. The real value comes from the next step. Enrichment. This is where we transform the data. We go from just having a business name to knowing the decision maker is John Doe, managing partner, finding his verified email, and even figuring out the company has 10 to 25 employees. This is the transformation that turns a basic list into a premium, high-value product.
And of course, quality is absolutely everything. If you sell bad, outdated data, your reputation will be toast overnight. So, a non-negotiable part of this engine is the cleaning and verification process. You've got to remove duplicates, standardize the formatting, and, this is the big one, validate those emails to make sure they won't bounce. Your credibility depends on it.
Okay, now for my favorite part, section 4, packaging and selling.
We've built our incredible data product. Now it's time to actually make some money and turn all that hard work into revenue. So, what are your customers actually paying for? They're buying a clean, simple, organized package. It's got the company name, the website, a verified email, the right decision maker's name and title. Basically, you're handing them a perfect starting point. You're giving a sales team everything they need to kick off a conversation, all in one neat little file.
Now, how do you price this stuff? Well, it really depends on the quality and the niche. You could go with a per lead model, maybe a few bucks per contact, which is great for just testing the waters. Or you could offer a bulk package, 1,000 leads for a flat fee. The real holy grail, though, is a subscription model where people pay you monthly for access to a constantly updated database. That's how you build predictable, recurring revenue. And believe me, for really good data, the prices can get up there.
So where do you actually sell these leads? You've got a ton of options. You can do direct sales, reaching out to agencies or software companies. You can set up a super simple online store on a platform like Gumroad. You can even use your own data to run a targeted cold outreach campaign to find your first customers. It's a great way to prove the value of your product.
All right, we're at the final section. Number 5, automate, scale, and comply. This is where we take this from being a cool side project and turn it into a real, sustainable, and mostly hands-off business.
The dream, the ultimate goal, is a workflow that looks exactly like this. Imagine a system where AI is out there finding new opportunities for you. The scrapers and enrichment tools are just humming along in the background 24/7, and the final, polished data gets automatically packaged, uploaded, and even marketed for you with almost no manual effort. That is the real power of building an automated system. Okay, I need you to listen closely here, because this is incredibly important. If you want to build a real, long-term business, you have to do this legally and ethically. That means you only collect publicly available business data. You respect the terms of service of the sites you're scraping, and you absolutely must understand the data privacy laws like GDPR and CAN-SPAM. Get this part right, and you'll build a trustworthy brand. Get it wrong, and you're done. And just to help you get started on the right foot, let's quickly cover the big mistakes to avoid. Number 1, don't sell garbage data. Unverified, outdated info will kill your reputation fast. 2, don't try to be everything to everyone. Stay focused on your niche. 3, and I can't say this enough, do not ignore the legal stuff. And finally, price your data fairly and figure out what makes your offer special, what makes it different from everyone else.
So there you have it. That's the entire blueprint. We've gone from finding a profitable niche all the way to building an automated AI engine that finds, cleans, and packages up incredibly valuable data. The whole system is designed. Now there's really only one question left to ask. What niche are you going to dominate first?